यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. My best wishes and Paripurna Ashirvadam. May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and entire your family members and your friends. Today we are about to begin the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So I would like to begin the 7th chapter with a proper introduction. As we are aware, Bhagavad Gita consisting 18 chapters. Those 18 chapters have been divided into 3 shatkam. These 3 shatkams are known as Prathama Shatkam, Madhyama Shatkam, then the last portion is known as Tritiya Shatkam or Antima Shatkam. And these 3 shatkams, all these 6 chapters of each shatka, it deals with a particular subject. Each shatka deals with a specific subject of Mahavakya. The first subject is called Tvam Padartha Visheshaha, which is dealt with the first 6 chapters. Then the next 6 chapters, the subject matter is Tat Padartha, means completely about God concept. And final, these 6 chapters will deal with Asi Padartha, that is equation portion. And there were main topic in the first 6 chapters. Only 3 topics were dealt. Jiva was the main topic, then the Karma Yoga, and finally Swaprayatnam or Purusha Prayatnam or Atma Prayatnam. These 3 topics were dealt in the last 6 chapters. Jiva means an individual consciousness, and all the verses throughout the 6 chapters you can see wherever there is Jiva topic, it specifies Jiva is nothing but Satchid Ananda Swarupam. He is eternal entity. Then Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means a proper action with proper attitude. Then finally also these 6 chapters dealt with the glory of self-effort as an individual effort. Usually other people, other country people, they have an idea on India. We are believing on fatalism, which is not right. They even blame your country, still you believe on fatalism. Therefore, you are lagging to get improvement, which is not right, which is not correct at all. Therefore, the 6th chapter they emphasize on Purusha Prayatnam from the beginning itself. From the 2nd chapter itself, it begins to deal with Purusha Prayatnam. Wherever there is a place, Bhagavan Krishna used to say, Uddharet Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasadayet. So he keeps on telling your effort has to be proper. But that effort must be with confident, self-confident, not with overconfident, not even with the fatalism. We give a priority in our life for our self-effort, but we don't become overconfident. I am everything, my effort alone brings everything. No, we make the effort and we don't even lean against the fatalism. We just learn the karma theory as that the cause of everything. then we make our self-effort. And also we keep in our mind there is one more thing. This is micro aspects, there is a macro aspects, it's a microcosm. So one more subject which remains macrocosm called Ishvaraha. The God is a concept, a reality which exists other than me, which runs the world. So everything is functioned by that power called God. Therefore what? I make my own effort with the confident, not with fatalism buddhi, and with the responsibility. The fatalism means you don't own the responsibility. You will blame on your karma. So you will be hanging over your fate. Everything will be according to the fate. No. We understand the karma theory, then we make ourselves effort, not with overconfident, with a supportive understanding about the grace of Ishvara. Now we have learnt about us completely. Our spiritual path, our spiritual activity should begin with a proper understanding about the self. Now we have completed 6th chapter. Now we know a proper understanding about physical, subtle, causal level of my own system. And in short way we can say Jivaha, Karma Yogaha, Purusha Prayatanaha. These 3 topics were dealt in the past 6th chapter. Now from 7th onwards till 12th chapter, the contents are going to be 3. So those 3, the first one is Ishvara Swarupam. So in the previous 6th chapter we dealt with Jiva Swarupam, means the nature of individual consciousness. Now there is one more consciousness other than me, other than an individual. Every individual, they experience their consciousness, but they don't experience the consciousness other than them. Though God concept comes in between, in the 6th chapter, in the 5th chapter, but now we are going to see, or we are going to focus only on the God concept. While focusing on the God concept, the understanding about the self also, which will remain as the foundation on which I can construct more understanding about Ishvara, more understanding about the world. Now understanding about the world is a challenging job, because even we don't know how to understand ourselves. Somehow, with the help of 1st, 6th chapter, we have understood. Still, we don't know tomorrow what will happen with my physical, my psychological, my causal level. So this is kept as a suspense. In the same way, the world which remains with lots of secrets, miracles, and so many hidden variables. In order to understand the world, you have to be endowed with a proper teaching method. That's what we are endowed with. Bhagavan Krishna, he himself will give the glory of the Ishvara, the nature of the Ishvara. Not only that, the function of the Ishvara. In the Vesti level, in an individual level, we saw the previous chapters. Now it is Samashti. Samashti means collective level. Now you have to have a broad mind, open mind to understand the things. If you have a framed mind regarding the concept of the God, you cannot understand Bhagavad Gita thoroughly. So when you learn about Ishvara, you should be endowed with an open mind, a mind which doesn't have the frame, because he is vast. So Ishvara Swarupam, Ishvara's glory, Ishvara's function, that's what known as Ishvara Swarupam. Then the second topic is going to be Bhakti. In the previous 6th chapter, the second topic was karma. The connection with me and my body was karma. Now, The connection with the Ishvara you can get through only is known as upasana. That upasana is which is known as meditation in the 6th chapter. Now it is known as bhakti. So bhakti is the bridge you can construct with Ishvara. So the bhakti has to be cleared. What is bhakti? Mere the emotional things or only intellectual things or mere following some vratas? What exactly the bhakti is? So when there is an understanding of Ishvara, that understanding must be packed with upasana or bhakti. So why should I understand about the God? It is said, when Swami Vivekananda met Swami Ramakrishna, he asked, do you see the God? He said, of course I see the God. So we cannot ask because Ramakrishna Paramahamsa has answered. So how you see the God? You have to come along with me. You have to be with me. I will make you to see the God. That's what the next answer. In the same way, you need to have the Guru to see the God. God is not a moon or star you can see, with a little bit of effort. You should be aware completely about your system. That's what we learned in the 6th chapter. Now the bhakti means what? And bhakti also, there are divisions. Understanding God as Saguna Brahma Upasana. Understanding God as a Nirguna Brahma Upasana. So that which we will bring one by one. Now the second topic which are going to be dealt with in the coming 6 chapters is known as Bhakti. The first is Ishvara Swarupam, then second is Bhakti. Then the third topic is Ishvara Anugraham or Kripa. In the last 6th chapter, the third was Purusha Prayatnam. Now it is Ishvaranugraham. You can combine both. Life has to be combined with this both. Purusha Prayatnam, Ishvaranugraham. Then the life becomes heaven here itself. This Purusha Prayatnam that we learnt as Swaprayatna, self-effort. Now Ishvaranugraham means the blessings of Ishvara, means God. It has to be there with you. Now Purusha Prayatnam and Ishvara Anugraham to be understood well. The grace of God. Okay. These 3 topics which are going to be dealt with the chapter which begins from 7 to 12. Therefore the 12th chapter is known as Bhakti Yoga. Simply we are at the door of 7th chapter, from where we are going to adapt the journey of understanding Ishvara. So whatever the form as the Saguna Brahman, we are going to understand thoroughly that. Let us begin the first words. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Saktamanah Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashrayah Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yathajñasyasi Tachrunu. The first verse itself, he makes a pratigna. So clearly Tatpada Vichara begins from these words. The first 3 verses are introductory verses of the 7th chapter. This 7th chapter, which is named as Jnana Vijnana Yoga, we will learn the meaning of the word in the forthcoming verses itself. Bhagavan himself, he will reveal the meaning of those topic title. Now Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Bhagavan continues. Okay, he says, Mam Jnasyasi. Mam Samagram Jnasyasi. If you would have understood the past 6th chapter, definitely you would have got an eligibility to digest the 5 chapters from 1 to 5 Now you are ready for the second shatka. In the second shatka, when you keep yourself with the swaprayatna and qualifications which are mentioned in the first 6 chapters, you will understand completely about me. That's what he says. Mam jnasyasi, mam samagram jnasyasi. You will realize me completely. What does he means completely? Completely means as sopadhika nirupadhika taya. As in the form or as in the beyond unformed or beyond the srishti. With the srishti and beyond the srishti. Saguna nirguna rupena samagram mam jnasyasi. You will be completely realized about me, the God. So me means, so whenever in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says mam, me. So that me, it refers according to the context. So now there are 4 meanings we can understand according to the context. The first meaning, mam means as the Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. Vasudeva putraha, Arjunasya mitraha. Vasudeva putraha. You can understand me as the Vasudeva putraha or friend of Arjuna. Then the second meaning is Vishnuhu. Vishnu means what? We always discuss about these 3 things. When the creation happened, the creator and sustainer and destroyer has mentioned this Brahma, Vishnu, Lord Shiva. The second meaning goes the Vishnu who sustains the world, Sthitikarta. That also can be understood. Then the third word is Ishvaraha. The third meaning comes, Ishvaraha means this word, actually Ishvara means some people say Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva means he is Parameshwaraha means Lord Shiva. But Ishvaraha in general, it refers all the gods which are endowed with form. Saguna Brahma Ishvaraha. That Saguna Brahma means so who is endowed with Maya and plus Brahman. This is a technical term which will be explained in this chapter alone. The Ishvara means so who is in the form of Archavatara. There is one more technical term we can bring from Vaishnava Sampradaya. They call it Archavatara, as a Dashavatara, Rama, Krishna and Balarama and Vamana. All these people are Archavatara Murti. And there are also specific Archavataras can be understood in different ways. Then the last meaning is Nirguna Brahman. So when he refers, Mam means Nirguna Brahman means what? It's a final understanding of the God. Because as an individual, I have 2 systems, physical system and subtle system and causal system. In the same way, when you analyze about the God, God also has got superficial physical system and the subtle system and causal level of system. So we have our own body. Even Ishvara has got his own Sharira. Ishvara's body is nothing but the world. That's what a proper understanding. But we are not going up to that level. We just understand Ishvara who is with the body called Mahavishnu or Parameshwara, Lord Ganesha. So all these forms are given for us to understand in simple way so that we can get connected with those Ishvaras. Okay? He says, so he will be informed properly. When I complete this 6th chapter, you will be thorough about me. About me means what? You are already thorough about me as your friend. And you will be thorough as me as a Vishnu, Sthiti Devata, and you will also understand me as a Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman. In fact, meditation, when you do on Saguna Brahman, it's known as Upasana. When you do on Nirguna Brahman, known as Nididhyasana. So this chapter, I am bringing all the technical terms so that you could hear something, but don't get confused. Everything will be elaborated by the Krishna himself. And also he continues, Asamsayam Nyasyasi. You will definitely will understand without any doubt. Asamshayam Mam Samagram Mam Nyasyasi. You will realize me without any doubt means what? The confident, being an Acharya, he gives a self-advertisement. So don't worry, I will take care of your all understanding problems. You will understand that's my duty to remove all the doubts. Will you get that kind of gurus? It's very rare. So all the definition about guru will be very much suitable to Lord Krishna. With every words, with the compassion towards Arjuna, the compassion towards all the creatures. When you are able to identify Arjuna, you can feel that flourishing or pouring anugraha, kripa of Lord Krishna. Now he says, doubtlessly, therefore, you should be endowed with Guru. That's the message, When you understand about yourself, so that time itself you need a Guru means, so when you are about to or you are initiating to understand Lord means God which is not visible completely. And he confirms that you will understand the God which visible form and non-visible form. That doubts won't be there, but you should follow what I give as a condition. So there are two conditions. So these two conditions, you have to be with the mind, Maya Sakta Manaha means with the mind committed to me, with a desire to know me. So you should be with the desire to know as the Ishvara. Then alone the teaching will work. So the God has to be fixed as the destination. Now you can understand, so why should I understand the God in our life? So there is no difference between God and moksha. Both are identical. Therefore we always sit, I should know the God, I should reach the God. I should reach the God means I should know the God. By knowing, you will reach the God. Our forefathers, they had the language, one should know the God. One should reach the God. Jivatma should reach the Paramatma. Means Jivatma should understand, should realize the Paramatma. That realization itself will help to reach, and the Paramatma and moksha are not different things, both are identical. Therefore what? Selecting Paramatma, God itself, is equal to selecting moksha as the final destination. So Maya Sakta Manaha means you should be interested, otherwise you won't get connected with the subject matter. You should be interested in me. In me means what? As Saguna, as Nirguna, doesn't matter. Like Ramakrishna, I should have the Kali Darshan. He became mad about it. Finally he reached. He could get the darshan. And so many yogis, even Mahakavi Kalidasa had the Kali darshan. And Rama was visible to Valmiki. Even all the gods, they are ready to give darshan if you are making proper effort. And getting Ishvara darshan means what? The life will be settled. You need not to make effort. But people leaving the God, if they want to continue their life without God concept, means what? It is like constructing a building on the space without the foundation. I tell you why I am saying this statement. So when you remove godliness from every aspects of the life, like our science, the spiritual granthas, means all the scriptures say the creation is endowed with three kinds of power. That powers are named as Brahmaji and Vishnu, Shiva. But people say that the world is endowed with three kinds of power. Atom, when you break the atom, a small atom, it is divided as electron, proton, neutron. So naming them, so as the dead material, it is equal to get away from the Ishvara. So when you bring Ishvara into every invention, every object, then you could reach, you could communicate with that. Even medical science, when they operate, they see heart is as an instrument. So they connect all the walls to the heart functions. So this is like a mechanic. Are you a mechanic of a human body? That should not be the mentality. But I have seen many doctors, they believe in God, they accept everything is nothing but God. So if you have that understanding, you can be a successful doctor. You are not a car mechanic. So that's the attitude. If even car mechanic, if he has a proper attitude, he can be a best car mechanic. The world is alive. Don't convert into a dead material. When you have the perception on the body, you see it is alive. It is not dead material. Backed up by or with consciousness. The consciousness is very much alive. So when you see the world, Ishvara is alive. So when you see every object with the consciousness called Ishvara, then you could communicate with that entity, that object, any object. You take a small stone, you keep talking the stone, it will respond to you. Stone will respond because stone also consists of consciousness. So if you change it as a God, so that with the help of the stone, you can get connected with the total cosmic power called God. That is a beautiful method. Now realization God, it needs a little bit more patience, but with open mind. Don't get locked with some limited or crooked mind. We cannot. That's what he says. So God has to be the destination. When you select me as the destination, me as the desirable object, and the mind which is committed to me, then you can learn. And one more thing he says, with a proper surrendering. So when you surrender, so that Mad Ashrayaha, with the proper surrendering attitude, then what? Yogam Yunjan. Yogam Yunjan means all the benefit of 6 chapters, previous 6 chapters have been kept in this verse. So now you will definitely understand the concept of the God. Not only that, without any doubt, if you fulfill the condition with a proper surrendering, with a proper fixing goal as me, if you begin the journey, definitely you will understand me. So this is an attempt in order to understand the God concept, and he will bring all the topics in this. Bhagavan Krishna continuously is going to give the detailed meaning that we will continue in the next episode. Harihi Om. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।